Welcome to a brand new video. Hope you guys are having a fantastic day. So yes, and see by today's title and thumbnail, we are back with another Premier League prediction. That is right, today I am predicting Premier League Game Week 27. So yes then, in today's video I will break down each side, go through some stats with you, and then I'll give my prediction at the end of that conversation. So yes then, like today's video, hit that like button, subscribe if not already, and without further ado, let's start with our Premier League Game Week 27 video. First up we have Brentford versus Chelsea. That is right, Brentford lost 4-2 to West Ham. In their last 5 games, they have won 1 and lost 4. To be fair, by Brentford standard, that is a pretty poor season for them this year. So, due to Everton's reduced point deduction, Brentford moved down a place into 16th and only 5 points above the drop zone. They still have a gap of 5 points between the bottom 3, but that can all change within a few weeks. Chelsea didn't play last week due to their final against Liverpool, and they were quite poor in that game as well. Yes, they only lost 1-0, okay, but like Gary Neville said on screen right now, he said Chelsea £1 billion bottle jobs have lost to Liverpool's youngsters, and that is so goddamn true. Neville got quite a bit of stick for that, but I've got to say he is very, very right on that, because yeah, so Chelsea had such, Chelsea had their £1 billion squad out against Liverpool's second team, and they still managed to lose. When Pochettino was receiving his medal to get into the final, okay, he literally ignored the chairman, Todd, okay. He literally walked straight past him and didn't acknowledge him whatsoever. So, you know what? Has he lost the dressing room and has he lost the chairman's trust? We shall find out, man. So just on that, I do have this game, guys, to end as a draw. That is why I've got Brentford versus Chelsea to end as a 1-1 draw. Next up, we have Everton versus West Ham. Everton drew 1-1 to Brighton. In their last 5 games, they have drew 4 and lost 1. I'm sure you've all seen by now, Everton got their point deduction reduced from 10 points to 6 points, okay? And that has literally gave their season a bit of a lifeline, because they move up 2 places into 15th place, okay? And they now pull away from the bottom 3 by 5 points. West Ham bounced back from their 3-game losing streak and beat Brentford 4-2, which now sees them move up to 8th place in the table. So you know what, they're pushing back up there. Joe Bowen got his first Premier League hat-trick of his career against Brentford. I'm quite annoyed because I transferred him out of my FPL side last week, okay, and then he goes and scores a hat-trick, so I'm a little bit annoyed with that result. So overall, a very good performance, and they also welcome back their main star Lucas Paquetá, okay, so he is a massive boost to their end of their season campaign. So now they've got him back, can they push on to get higher in the table? So just on that, I do have West Ham, and that's why I got West Ham, guys, to beat Everton 2-1. Next up we have Fulham versus Brighton. Fulham with a fantastic 2-1 win against Man United. That sees them now in a comfortable 12th position and only 7 points away from getting 7th in the table. So you know what, from 12th up to 7th, it's quite tight. Obviously, Brighton sit in 7th place, so Fulham need to win this game to close that gap on that top 7 finish. So Fulham need this win more than Brighton. You know what though, this could be a very good game. Brighton drew 1-1 to Everton. Brighton needed this win, but it's better than losing, I guess. They have a very tough few weeks coming up. They face Roma in the last 16 of the Europa League. You know what though, Brighton should be excited and all focus should be on that game as well. You know what though, this game will be close like I said earlier. So, just on that, I've got this game, guys, to end as a very exciting 2-2 draw. That's why I got Fulham versus Brighton to end as a 2-2 draw. Next up, it is Newcastle versus Wolves, 10th versus 9th. Newcastle lost 4-1 to Arsenal. Very poor performance, okay, and because of that, they now drop to 10th. Listen guys, I feel like last year Newcastle were really tough to break down and get, score goals past. But this season, they have lost that. This season, they let in too many goals. That is all down to the work rate, guys. Because, to say, last year, I watched them last year, and their work rate off the ball was, brilliant, okay? And this season, it just don't seem to be, clicking. I don't know what it is, but, yeah, you know what? They'll come back, soon. But this season, though, they have been quite poor and letting a few many goals. And that is their biggest issue this season. They're up against a very informed Wolves. They only beat Sheffield United 1-0, but guess what though? It's a win, and that is all that matters, man. They sit in 9th place, okay, only 1 point away from 7th. I watched Gary O'Neill on the touchline against Sheffield United last week. He wants high standards, guys, and you could see him on the touchline against Sheffield giving instructions to players on the pitch. And that is all you want in a manager, and that is why they've been very successful this season. You know what, Gary O'Neill, man, he could be a very, he could be a top class manager in years to come. So, because of Wolves, obviously Wolves are on fire right now, and I believe Wolves will beat Newcastle. That is why I got Wolves, guys, to beat Newcastle 2-1. Next up we have Forest versus Liverpool. Forest lost 4-2 to Aston Villa, and because of Everton's point reduction, they now sit 1 place above the relegation zone in 17th. I can't see them getting that result against Liverpool either, because obviously Liverpool have recently come away with a fantastic final win against Chelsea. Liverpool did not play last week, and somehow they have managed to stay top of the league, and that is all you can ask for from a Liverpool perspective, okay? They still sit top of the league after not playing last game week. Klopp gave his youngsters a run out in the final, okay? And you know what? What I watched of that game, Liverpool have a very bright future ahead of them, okay? And you know what? Liverpool can look forward to a very exciting next 5 to 10 years. They'll be up for this game, because obviously Klopp also rested his main stars as well. So, that is why I've got this game to be a very easy Liverpool win. I've got Liverpool to beat Forest 2-0. Next, we have Spurs versus Crystal Palace. Again, Spurs did not play last game week, so they've had time to refresh and start on some new tactics. Even though Spurs did not play last week, they still held on to 5th place. I guess we'll see if they made progress during the week off against Crystal Palace. Palace beat Burnley 3-0 and they move up to 14th place. Since Oliver Glasner has took over, they have drew 1 and won 1. And that is all you can ask for, as an instant impact. Palace needed this change, Obviously, someone with fresh ideas and someone a little bit younger than Roy Hodgson. Since the change, Jordan Ayew has scored 2 and assisted 1 in the last 2 games. I believe this game will be a very close game. That is why I've got Spurs versus Palace to end as a 2-2 draw. Next, we have Luton versus Aston Villa. Again, Luton had a week off from last week. So, they've also had time to refresh and start again. They played Man City in the FA Cup yesterday, okay, and they lost 6-2. Holland with 5 goals. So that will, that will hurt them a little bit. But they need to click on now, work together as a side, forget about that result and start again. Due to Everton's point deduction, that has put Luton in a very awkward position. They now sit a massive 4 points from safety instead of 1 point from safety. Luton need to come together right now and find that fighting spirit, because you know what? Luton can survive this season, but it needs to happen soon. Villa beat Forest 4-2 and they now sit in 4th place and 5 points clear from 5th. Emery has hinted Villa will just keep getting better and better, and that is all you can ask for, man. A manager with fresh ideas, a manager that's ambitious, and that is what makes a successful team click. I do think Luton will lose this game, so that is why I've gone for a Villa win. I've got Villa to beat Luton 2-0. Next we have Burnley versus Bournemouth. Burnley lost 3-0 to Crystal Palace and sit a massive 11 points from safety. So surely they can't get the drop from here, and I'm pretty sure they are relegated already. Company has done well to keep his job, man. I don't know how he's kept his job, okay, after this awful season. But you know what though? I do believe they should stick with him for next season in the Championship as well, because obviously, you know, he brought them up to the Premier League last year, and you know, he can do it again next season if they get relegated from the Premier League. Bournemouth lost 1-0 to Man City, and they also lost 1-0 to my boys Leicester City in the FA Cup, man. Oh man, so buzzing about that, so buzzing. That result against Man City sees them in 14th place, okay, and 8 points away from the drop. So you know what, Bournemouth have a massive breathing space, and they will survive the season if they keep going till the end of the season. Rule of forms recently have not been great either. They've drew 3 and lost 2. Bournemouth went on a massive unbeaten streak last month, but that all feels like a blur right now because they have not done that great in recent weeks. But I do think Bournemouth will beat Burnley. That is right, guys. I've got Bournemouth to beat Burnley 2-0. This next game is the game we've all been waiting for. It's the Manchester derby. Man City versus Man United. Man City currently sit second place and only 1 point behind leaders Liverpool. In recent games, Pep has rotated the squad and he's still getting the results, and that is all you can ask for. Great news from the academy though. Oscar Bob has signed an extra 5-year deal, okay, to keep him at the club for 5 more years, okay. And you know, I've watched him a few times this season and he looks a very good prospect. So fair play to Man City for getting him down, turning him down to a deal, because you know what, he's got a very bright future ahead of him. Anyway, in the last 6 meetings against these two sides, Man City have won 5 of them. In the past 4 to 5 years, Manchester has been blue. Why did I do that? Why did I do that? Why did I do that? Man United lost 2-1 to Fulham, and that puts them in 6th place, okay. Jim Ratcliffe has brought a share into Man United, okay, and it's already demanding changes. And one of them changes is he wants to give Mason Greenwood a chance, okay. You know what? We all heard the audio clip. We all heard the proof, okay. He paid his girlfriend off to not say anything, okay. And you know what? If he comes back to Man United, I believe Man United fans will not be happy and they will protest against this decision. Because you know what? Mason Greenwood does not deserve to put on a Man United shirt ever again, okay. That is just, you know, it is shambles. Jim Ratcliffe thinks, it's a fact Jim Ratcliffe can think to bring in Mason Greenwood after all the evidence we heard about him. But anyway, I'm going to move on from that. And also, he wants to get rid of a few players. Anthony is one of them. And apparently I've heard online that Marcus Rashford and Ten Hag are not speaking at all. And that is bad for the changing rooms, okay. And you know what? Against Man City, man, this game against Man City has come too soon for Man United, because they're in a bad place right now. Yes, they won 3 or 4 games on the road recently, but with all this news coming out right now, it's going to be carnage. So just on that, I do have Man City, guys, to beat Man United. That is what I've got, Man City to beat Man United 3-1. And we are down to the final game of this game week. It's Sheffield versus Arsenal. Sheffield lost 1-0 to Wolves. Last 5 games they have won 1 and lost 4. And again, due to Everton's point reduction, they sit a massive 11 points from safety. Just like Burnley, I'm sure they're relegated. All Sheffield can do now is put in good performances for the fans, okay, because obviously there's no way back for Sheffield, but if they fight until the end, you know, the fans have something to, watch, basically. Arsenal with a fantastic 4-1 win against Newcastle. Arsenal right now are full of confidence. They sit in 3rd place and only 2 points away from leaders Liverpool. In the last 5 games, they have won all 5 of their games, and that is massive in this stage of the season. And they also have a better goal difference than Man City and Liverpool. That goal difference can be greater because they'll score a few more goals against Sheffield this game week. So, I believe Arsenal beat Sheffield, guys. A very comfortable 3-0 win for Arsenal. And there we have it, guys. That is my Premier League Game Week 27 predictions, man. Let me know down below in the comments if you agree with any of my decisions, okay? And the only game we're all excited for this weekend is Man City versus Man United. So anyway, thank you for watching today's video, guys. Hit that like button, subscribe if you're not already, and I'll see you guys next week for a reaction video. So thank you for watching. Good night.